Okay, Andy Warren, Stuart Watson here. We're delighted to be joined by a comedian, actor, writer, producer, podcaster, and probably most importantly for this podcast, an Exeter City fan, David Earl. David, thank you for joining us. Did I miss anything off? Any other strings to your bow that I didn't
To be honest, I think
list
you
there?
added a few that shouldn't have been on there. Yeah. My wife turned to me the other day and said, "I think you're a content creator." I was like, "Oh my God, am I?"
Oh, the word content's miserable, isn't it?
I know. No, it's really nice to be here.
No, it's great to have you. Where in the world are you at the moment?
I'm in my office, just sort of north Totnes in Devon. Yeah, just sort of where I sit most days, and I go to bed.
It's great. It's a great life. I've got two great fears for this podcast just before we start, and one is that I get far too excited and try and be funny, which I'm not. So I need some help to stay away from that. And the other, Stu, is that I try and be way too familiar with David because David's voice has become something we're quite familiar with, Stu. Traveling the country, watching it Ipswich Town, isn't it? We spend quite a lot of time in David's company. It feels, although we've never met.
God, that must be weird.
It is, yeah. We get people say that to us as we do a lot of Ipswich Town podcasts, and supporters come up to us and say, "You keep us in touch." And sorry if I'm a bit familiar, but it feels like we know you, and that's how we feel about you, David. You've kept us company on our long journeys.
I'm glad.
So thank you for that.
Thank you. Well, thanks for listening. Me and Joe are like, I'm always amazed that people listen to the stuff we put out. It's just like, what? Surely there's other stuff out.
I'm halfway through what feels like is going to be a 10-part epic talking about one contestant's experience on Deal or No Deal at the moment, which
God.
is that's top. That's what we want from podcasting.
Oh, I'm glad you're into that. I'm so into that. Because I've never done any panel shows or game shows. That whole world is like a little magical. It's like Disneyland. So I want to know everything about it. Probably too much, really. Yeah.
Well, for I'm sure plenty of listeners are well aware of who you are with in the world of podcasting, but there would be plenty more that know you from your work opposite Ricky Gervais in the comedies Derek and then Afterlife with Kev and Brian, who are two disgraceful blokes with kind of hearts of gold hidden in there somewhere. Is that a fair description of those two gentlemen?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, that's definitely how sort of Ricky likes writing sort of the versions of Brian. When we did a recent film, we made him a lot more accessible and family friendly. It sort of depends, and I think because I've got young children, I've got 3 boys, I've got 2 little boys. I'm sort of aware of the material I'm putting out now. There's a lot of terrible things I've put out onto the internet, and I'm like, oh no, they're gonna. I dropped them off at school this morning. I was like, oh God, one day they're gonna hear that, or I was like, oh, what have I done? But I'm going off on that. Sorry. Yeah. There is some. There's a disgraceful side to Brian and Kev. Yeah.
A beautiful disgrace. The reason we're talking to you today is your podcast, My New Football Club, which is topical for Ipswich at the moment because we're heading into a visit to Exeter City, which is the focus of it. So maybe we could start just explaining My New Football Club and how you've become so entwined in the world of League One football and Exeter City.
You want to know how it started?
Yeah, if that's okay.
So I moved down to Devon last spring, and I wanted to get into watching football live in the flesh. I've been supporting Man United all my life, and only been to see them 2 or 3 times because I came down from Sussex. So I was like, I really want to go watch football, and my main little focus was I want to go and watch live football on Boxing Day. Whenever I saw football fans go off and watch their team on Boxing Day, I was like, fuck wish I could do that. Just look really cozy wearing a jumper and a little flask of coffee. So that was the trigger. And then I put out, I don't know if I put it on Twitter, I put it somewhere. I said, who should I go and watch? So I'm sort of equidistant from Torquay, Plymouth and Exeter. And then the poll, Exeter came out on top. So I thought I'd go and watch Exeter first. And I really enjoyed it. I thought, well, I'm in now, really. So this is it now. And I just thought I'll throw myself into it. In the mornings, we were working with Joe, and Joe would chat to me about how it was going. He said, "Oh, this is making me laugh. Let's just record it as a podcast." And then that's it. And now I'm still doing it, and I'm watching them. I've got a season ticket, and I'm way too invested. Yeah, it's got its claws into me. Yeah.
It gets you, doesn't it? It gets you.
It really does. I think it's the routine. What is it? It's so many things. It's the routine. I love the routine. I go, brilliant. 1 o'clock on Saturday, I'm traveling up there. I love that. I love just walking out into the stadium for the first time, seeing the crowd and that all thousands of people come together around this little patch of green just to watch this little. It feels like a soap opera, a theatre, this live event. And then I like going home feeling happy, or I like going home feeling miserable. I just like it all, how it affects me. And then I like going home getting cozy and getting on the sofa. I like watching them on iFollow. I like listening to Radio Devon.
Did you think this would happen? Did you actually think you'd kind of fall in love with League One football and Exeter?
I honestly, because I supported Man United, and now I feel like, have I supported Man United? I've kind of just watched them on the TV. I don't know if was I a supporter then? I cared if they won or lost, but this feels so different now. And I think Matt Ford, he came on the podcast. He says, I think it was him. He said, when you watch it on TV, you're just watching it through this little fisheye or whatever. When you go into a ground, you're watching the whole game in front of you. So they could be going to score at one end, and you're just paying attention to the left back's legs. So I really like seeing the whole view, the whole picture, and just means more now. Getting to know the players, and yeah.
Good season to start with, didn't you?
Yeah, piece of piss. When we went up, the guy next to me said, "I've been coming for 20 years, son. And I've only ever witnessed that once in all my life." I was like, "Really? I've been coming for 6 months. And this is a piece of piss." And we got promoted, and now we're sort of mid-table League One. I'm bored of League One. I want the Championship now. I've had 12 games of League One, and yeah, I love it. I really do love it. Yeah. And it's also bought. I sort of didn't care about the FA Cup with Man United. It didn't seem to matter. And now it really matters. It really matters. Like, who are we getting next? Can we get through to this round? And maybe we'll get a giant come down. And it just feels, way more special.
Do you care about the Papa Johns?
No. In fact, I think the fourth game I went to last season, I said to Joe, I'm going to the Papa Johns. He's like, why? I don't know. I said, well, it's a cup match. He went, well, yeah. I thought, well, it's a cup match. And I got there, it was like 800 people there. I was like, oh, what's wrong with the Papa Johns? I'd never heard of the Papa Johns. And then someone said to me about a month ago, he said, I went to Papa Johns. I was like, nah.
You'll find people are quite sniffy about the Papa Johns because you get the Premier League sort of youth teams. There was a big sort of boycott against it. That it didn't seem right that Chelsea's under 21s could be up against sort of lower league teams. But there is that Wembley carrot at the end of it. I think, have you gone out, Exeter? Didn't get through the group?
Not sure. I think we did go out, yeah.
Yeah. But Ipswich are hoping that they can get to a Wembley final this season in that competition, and that's not to be sniffed at.
So when we went from League Two to League One, I looked at the League One and who's it. So obviously I saw Ipswich. I was like, okay, Ipswich are a big side, and I got excited because for me, I mean, I don't know what the years were now, but I remember Ipswich being in the top flight. Well, they were, weren't they? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, back in like 2000 to 2002. It's a long old
Yeah.
time now. But
Yeah, so for
Yeah.
me, Ipswich feel like a really big side. So Ipswich coming down to St James's Park, I'm gonna be right up for it.
They've
Yeah.
sold out the away every away end they sell out now. It's all I don't know how many that will be for Exeter, but they've sold out the away end. It's
Right.
everywhere Ipswich go is full at the moment. It's a
So
good time. Good
How
time.
big's your stadium and how many people do you get in it?
The stadium's 30 and they're averaging about 25 at the moment, which is really, really good. That's up massively on what they've been recent years. So yeah, 20. I think they've got 25 coming for. We're recording this ahead of the Cheltenham game at the weekend. They've got 25 coming for that.
Fuck.
1,000. That is
I
not people.
I went to Exeter, Plymouth. So I went to Plymouth ground. I just thought their ground was great. I mean, Exeter's is so small. It's like 8,000 capacity. So it's just all I'm used to. But to hear that you have a 30,000, you go, that must be great. Must be so loud.
It's a great old stadium, isn't it, Stu? It's got a bit of everything, Pullman Road.
Yeah, it's one of those good old-fashioned football grounds as well, not one of these sort of soulless new builds on the edge of town. It's great now because Ipswich are going in the right direction again. There's a real feel-good factor and it's bouncing. But when you have a big stadium and things aren't going well, and when Ipswich were kind of treading water a bit in the Championship, there was, I think, attendance slipped to like 13,000, and it was when you've got a stadium half full and things are a bit miserable, that can go against you on the other side of it. But it's great now; things are going great.
Yeah, so how have things changed round for you? What's happened?
Ooh. Well, how long have we got? I think long and short, it's new owners, isn't it? They were bought by a group of American investors in April of last year. This is Ipswich's fourth attempt at getting out of League One, and with respect, like the three previous ones were pretty woeful. They were never close. But there's been a change of ownership, some new money, and some focus, really, just some love and care. Was that fair, Stu? It just feels like some love and care has gone into the club.
Yeah, and they've got themselves a top manager now. For someone who supported Manchester United, they've got the old Manchester United assistant manager is the Ipswich manager. So a guy called Kieran McKenna. He was Jose Mourinho, and
I was in a little restaurant 6 months ago, and he was up in London. He was fucking hell. What's his name? Yeah,
Kieran McKenna.
Yeah.
Did you speak to him?
No, God, no. Hello, mate. How you doing? So what? So has he been good?
Yeah,
I remember when he was working under Ollie, they were sort of saying he was a tactical genius.
Well, Man United, there was a bit of a split from social media. So again, take it with a pinch of salt. But there seemed to be a sort of feeling from what we could see, looking from the outside, that he must be part of the problem and he's inexperienced and whatnot. But he looks the part at Ipswich. He's only 36 years of age, but so calm, so articulate. He just seems to be the real deal, and he's already getting linked to sort of jobs higher up the pyramid. You've already felt that pain recently, David. With that's part of the problem when you're successful at a lower level. The vultures start to circle, but they're hopeful they'll keep hold of him for a little while.
I mean, surely he wants to see if he can get Ipswich up, and then if he does get Ipswich up, he'll want to stay, won't he? Won't he?
That's the hope, because I think Ipswich is the ambitions under these owners. They don't just end at kind of getting up from League One and getting back to the Championship. It's then being like top end Championship, playoffs, promotion, Premier League. So sitting here now, hoping that he's the man to kind of lead that. That's the dream, and it's going pretty well so far. Everybody's taken to him, and they're making a proper fist of promotion this year, which they've just never done that previously.
Have you had him on the pod?
Oh no, not on the pod. We've done like a podcast interview with him. We've not had him on our kind of proper podcast. I'm not sure if that's his vibe.
Write him a song.
Could you write him a song?
I'll write him a song.
It's not our forte. We might need a bit of help.
Yeah. So where are you in the league at the moment? Are you top four?
Second behind Plymouth.
Second. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Plymouth are doing quite well, aren't they?
Yeah, although they got battered by Grimsby somehow. I don't know how, but they were strong against us. We played really well, and don't know. Yeah, but in the end, they were just a little bit too strong. Yeah.
I watched that game probably because of you. I've been slightly sucked into the world of Exeter. I watched that game. It was a really good game, wasn't it? Proper end to end stuff for most of it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know how it felt on the TV, but yeah, it felt like both teams were really up for it, and yeah, it's a great game. Do you feel like you could support Exeter?
It's recruiting.
I think the journey. I would struggle to make the games with my Ipswich commitments, but I've got a little. I think I've got a little soft spot. I think a lot of people probably have.
Do you know? It's really weird moving over to another team and whether you can truly feel it, but I think you can. I really think. I mean, I definitely keep watching Man United, but it's a different kind of support. It's a completely different kind of support now. I'm experiencing an Exeter thing. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Who's your favourite player, David?
Oh, I don't know if I can pick. I don't know if I can pick. Depends if we're talking about like ability or legs or hair.
Let's have one of each. We can go ability. We can go ability. We can go hair. We can go hair after that. Ipswich have got some hair to discuss as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'll like Wes Burns for a start if you're into hair. He's got a good little Wes Burns, flying Welsh winger.
Right, I'm having a look now. I'll let you know if he's got.
Don't know if he'll have it down or in the man bun, but
Wes Burns. Bear with. You got a man bun?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
He's having that.
Seal of approval. Luke Wolfenden's always good for some hair. It's different. He can just turn up with a complete different haircut one week, which you're not expecting. I'm not sure if Google will do him justice, but occasionally he just turns up looking like Eminem, like bleached blonde, slim shady.
He's a good looker. So, oh yeah, I see what you mean. He's got different hairdos. Yeah, that would excite me on a Saturday to see what he turns up with.
What can we do on the legs front, Andy?
Yeah. What
I mean, this is something we need to explore maybe in a newspaper article at some point. The legs of Ipswich. I think
it's all very well laughing about legs, but if you've got good legs, there's a good chance you'll be a good footballer. If you've got crap legs, there's a connection there.
Good point. Tools of the trade.
Cheers.
I think Greg Lee, he's injured at the moment. Well, his leg is actually fractured, so I don't know if that counts as a good leg or not at this point. But when it's not fractured, he's got some good legs.
To be honest, I don't care about the bones. What's going on inside?
It's muscle structure. That's what you want.
Yeah. How do you spell Lee?
Leigh.
Oh, okay.
He's got some power.
Cracking pair of pins. Yeah.
If I Google Greg Lee, leg comes up straight away because I can.
Oh fuck yeah, his thighs. Fucking hell.
Yeah, they're serious, aren't they?
Oh yeah, and his arms, bloody hell, he's built well, isn't he?
It's all right. He's injured at the moment, so you won't have to face him.
Where does he play? Is he a winger?
Left back, left wing.
Is he? Right. God. Who's your star player? Who's the one that's like magic on the ball?
I think you probably have to go with the captain, wouldn't you, Stu? Sam. It's hard to. They've got 3 or 4 real central guys, but Sam Morsey, I'd probably say he's the captain. He's a proper captain as well, isn't he? He's got a bit of everything.
He'll bite your legs. He'll run around all day long. He's not. Yeah, they had a sort of a silky, mercurial player last season called Bursant Salina, who we would have probably been telling you about, but he's not there anymore. they haven't really got a kind of an X factor player. Is that fair to say? It's more just a really good, solid, experienced unit that started to become a bit of a winning machine this season. You've avoided the question about your favourite player. Is it like saying pick which of your three boys is your favourite? Is that?
Yeah, I like them for different reasons. Like attitude, Pierce Sweeney. If we haven't got him at the back, I'm like, oh, we're missing something here. Bit of attitude. Hair, Alex Hartridge, and he's nice and graceful on the ball. Nice white boots, left-footed. He plays at the back. Archie Collins is a really good player, central midfielder. He's just one of those players got loads of time on the ball. I think you'll probably think he's a standout. I mean, we've got Jay Stansfield up. I was going to say upstairs. What am I talking about? We've got Jay Stansfield upstairs. I might start saying that. But he's been banging in the goals, and we got him on loan from Fulham. He's looking really good. Jack Sparks, left wing back, I think is good. They're all, there's a good team. I'm telling you,
they're your boys, aren't they?
My boys.
Well, have you had to deal with any of the players you really like leaving yet? Obviously, the manager has left in the time that you've been following them. But have you had the heartbreak of watching a favourite son leave?
Well, I mean, the keeper went back to Sheffield Wednesday, Cameron Dawson, but I didn't feel like, because I joined the season halfway through or sort of November time, so I didn't feel completely connected. But I absolutely would now if one of these.
Never fall in love with a lone player, David.
Oh, I'm really learning that. I didn't realise this happened. So, because if I look at videos of Exeter from 3 years ago, I go, well, who are they? I don't know any of them.
The turnover is ridiculous. It's at the lower league level. It's Ipswich last season, for example, made 19 signings in one transfer window. So that's how quickly a squad can completely change.
But at the same time, it's quite exciting that, like this, making.
You would have loved that. The previous manager, like before the end of the season, like in a press conference, declared himself to be Demolition Man, and then and then proceeded to release everybody, and they built an entire new squad in the summer under the new owners. It was an
infamous meeting like a day after the season finished where he called them in one by one and basically told them they were no longer required.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've heard rumours about one, maybe two players in the Exeter side that they're going to be on their way. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then I go, oh, that's how you then get relegated, because you start, if you're doing well, you lose your good players, and then oh god, yeah, I don't know if I can handle all that crap.
It's not always rosy.
You just jump across to Plymouth at that point.
I think so. The most hated man in the South. No one would. Plymouth would go, fuck off. Exeter. No, I couldn't do that. No way I could do that.
Is this for life now? You're in. This is it.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, it feels like it now. Yeah. I guess it's one of those things, if you do take your eye off the ball, then you start to, because it happened with me and Man United. I stopped following them for like maybe close to a decade. And it was actually after they won the treble. I felt like we got to the top of the mountain. I was like, well, what's the point of watching them now? There's nothing else you can do. It's quite a bleak moment for me. I was about 25. And I stopped watching football, and then I got into the last 10 years again. But as long as I keep going and I'm enjoying it, then yeah, feels like this is it. Yeah. What about when Ipswich were at their, had some low moments? Did you just keep pushing on, keep supporting?
It's hard for us, because when Ipswich are at their low moments, that's when we kind of need to be writing about just how bad it is.
So who do you write for again?
So we're the East Anglian Daily Times, the newspaper in Ipswich. So the bad times yeah, it's a great job. It's an amazing job to have. We write about football and talk about football all day. But when it's
So
going
you
really
don't
badly,
get bored of, you don't get bored of football.
I love football. Absolutely love football. But
Because it's just, I think someone said like Charlie Baker, or someone said to me, I don't know if it's Charlie at Talk Sport, that the amount of journalists or whatever, football journalists, are now sick of fucking sport.
I can relate to that. I wouldn't go as far as saying that, but it definitely, I've found it's kind of taking it away from me as a hobby. I certainly won't sit down and choose to watch football sort of during the week. I'd rather stick a film on, or it feels like a bit of a busman's holiday sort of thing. Whereas if you'd have told my teenage, young 20s self that would be my outlook on it, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But so yeah, it definitely becomes sort of blurred lines as a hobby and a profession. I think the longer you do it, for sure.
I've been trying to find an antidote to that recently. I've been taking myself off to watch West Ham a little bit, and I took myself off on a one-man solo trip to Italy to go and watch some football just to see if I could love it again. And I did, and then I came back and we went. Where did we go after? I went to watch Inter Milan in the San Siro, and then Juventus.
Oh, what's
and
that like?
That's incredible. But when you juxtapose that and you come back and you're going with Ipswich to Morecambe 2 days after 2 days after that, it's a special week of football.
What's San Siro like?
Oh, it's amazing. It's incredible. It's just this lump
of
crumbling.
Concrete. Does it feel old?
Yeah, it feels like it's crumbling. It's concrete. It moves when people they set fireworks off in there, and the whole thing kind of vibrates.
Wow.
So San Siro is a bit of a pilgrimage for me, because Ipswich actually played Inter 20 years ago when they were in the Premier League, but my dad wouldn't let me go because it was in school time. So I go then. I've been there a couple of times now to try and make up for it. Exeter might get there one day before they knock it down. You never know. They're knocking it down in a few years.
Yeah, I know. I'm sort of concerned that Exeter aren't going to get anywhere. That's my worry. Because my co-host John is sort of, I don't know, he's so fucking miserable.
I do enjoy that dynamic of you've still got this sort of boyish enthusiasm that Exeter are just going to retain this upward march.
Yeah.
I want you to put on a bit of emotional armor. Just be ready for some disappointments ahead, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
I mean, yeah. What I do like about League One, it feels like, I mean, we're sort of mid-table. I go, oh, you do just need a little run of 3 wins, and you're right back up there again. It's really or 3 losses, and you're so that's really exciting. I'm like, we're too good. Surely we.
I mean, I guess your poster boys for Exeter would be teams like Bournemouth, or who else is there? Burnley, others. Luton, yeah.
What you mean teams that have gone up?
In terms of sort of clubs of, I guess, of a similar size and ilk and fan base, that if you get, it's like alchemy, you have to get everything right behind the scenes. Your recruitment needs to be spot on, because you are up against the likes of Ipswich and Derby and Sheffield Wednesday, and just the financial disparity is quite big. So to overcome that, you just need to get absolutely everything spot on. But it can happen, and there are examples of it.
Yeah.
But Lincoln made the playoffs, didn't they? Not that long ago. Oxford have given it a good old go, despite not having
through that window is a house, and the guy who lives in the house used to play left back for Oxford in the 80s when they had Mark Lawrenson. I think it was not Mark Lawrenson. Who did they have? Brilliant. Can't remember any of them. John Aldridge.
Yeah.
Who's the coach with Eric Ten Hag now? Umbrella.
McLaren.
Steve McLaren, yeah. So just through that door is a left back for Oxford from 40 years ago.
Have you had him on the pod?
No, I might as well. Hey, yeah, yeah. I think because we got off to a good start, I was like, oh, I think we beat Wickham. I thought Wickham felt really strong. We smashed Port Vale. I thought, we're just going to walk this one. When do we stop walking these leagues? And then now the last month, I'm like, this is going to be really tricky. Yeah.
David, I achieved one of my footballing dreams at St James's Park, Exeter.
Oh.
I
met
got
Mike Jackson.
Maybe. Oh, that would have been cool. I got to play with the fourth officials board. You know, the little board they hold up and do the substitutes.
How?
In the dead of night after an Ipswich game, after we'd finished our newspaper deadlines, we went snooping and ended up in the referee's room. And
Hang
the
on
board,
a minute.
yeah.
You know, you do house snoopers. We quite often do stadium snoopers, where we're quite often the last people to leave a football ground because we're doing all the managers' quotes and getting the newspaper sorted. And there's normally one or two janitors.
Are you genuinely one of the last to leave?
Yeah,
every single time.
Right. You've got to come on our pod. What does it feel? What is it like?
Eerie.
Who's there? Is this at Ipswich? Who's there?
Everywhere. Look, this was at Exeter. It's always black. They turn off the lights, don't they? And that's the sign, like, get out, please. It's time to go.
Who's they? Who turns off the lights?
The man with the keys.
Who is he? I want to know.
Nobody knows.
I really want to meet him. I feel like he's hunchback.
There might be a few of those on the circuit. They'll either come and stare at you while we're working and just like we know you want us to go home. We want to go home.
11 o'clock for a night game. Maybe.
Wow.
Maybe a bit beyond that.
Gone. All the players are gone. The groundsman's gone. Everyone's gone. It's just a man with some keys and you.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. We've been locked in places before. We end up escaping through little doors, any door that we can find. Ended up in the referee's room to play with a little board at Exeter. We got locked in Molyneux.
What's the referee's room like?
It's pretty boring, wasn't it? It's very small. It's not very hospitable.
They get like the little broom cupboard dressing room, don't they?
Are they in there on their own? Just with their little bag of clothes? I love it. Do you know what? I love this.
Surely Exeter would let you have a little. They could let you hang
around.
I'm
going to ask after this. I'm going to email them and say, "Can I do a live pod from? Can I be the last person to leave with the man with the keys?" Yeah.
Why don't you attach yourself to the? I don't know what's the newspaper down in Exeter. Is it the Devon Live or something? Attach yourself to them for the night, and you will be the last person to leave. They get you doing something.
Nose round the. I like the idea of a little referee in his room on his own, just thinking about things.
He'll have his assistants, won't he? There'll be the four of them.
What, in the room?
Together? Yeah. There'll be the two linesmen, the referee, the fourth official, have their own little room.
I don't know. I just imagine them having a little cup of, like, a really civilized little cup of tea before they go out and do their. Watching the referee do a warm up is great. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I like that.
Because the linesmen do the little linesman crab walk move. They practice that to do their stretching. It's great.
Honestly, I don't mean to. I'm not trying to be controversial or anything, but the referees are shite, aren't they?
It's been a lot of talk about that. It's increasingly over recent years, but pretty much most of our post-match interviews with managers seem to centre around referees these days.
You're playing Cheltenham this weekend, you say?
Yeah.
Good luck. Was it Cheltenham? They're time wasting.
Yeah. That happened at Ipswich last season as well.
Honestly, Jesus. But like me and John were saying, the referees could just say, "Do that again, you're off," and they don't do anything about it until there's like 3 minutes. I don't understand. There must be something going on. There must be a reason they don't stamp down on it. I don't know. I really want to get a referee on them. Yeah.
Have you not? That would be good. Get a ref on. I'm sure some.
Yeah, although I said to John, we'd just be like, "Oh, hello." I think we'd go back.
It's a hard job.
Yeah, I probably fall in love with them and then suddenly agree with them. Yeah.
How is St James's looking these days? It's been a couple of years. Since I've been, and every time I've been with Ipswich, Exeter have won in the 2 times that I've been with Ipswich. So
how have they?
Yeah, both in that they knocked them out of the Papa John's, and then the night I got to play with the referees board, was that the Carabao Cup, Stu? That wasn't it? The League Cup.
Yeah,
and it proved to be the beginning of the end for a manager actually that night. But they lost on penalties, so it's not a happy hunting ground.
So sorry, when you played with the fourth officials board, what did you do with it, and where were you?
In the referee's room. I tried to turn. I think I turned it on.
How did you turn it on? Just a little button?
Just a little switch on the side. But I think I then struggled to do anything from there. I wanted to make a substitution, but
I guess obviously you can type in the.
Yeah, I couldn't work out how to do that. So maybe it is a difficult job. But I got to hold it. I held it up though, didn't I, Stu? That was big.
Heavy.
That was a big. No, really light.
I imagine it's
really
quite lightweight.
Yeah, really light. They've obviously advanced the tech over the years, but it's a good bit of kit. Really good bit of kit.
I wonder how much they are.
Where would you buy them?
What are they called? What are they? What would you call them? Fourth officials board.
Fourth officials board.
Electronic board. Amazon. The fourth official. The fourth Amazon. That wouldn't be on Amazon, would it? Might be. Electronic.
You got price in mind.
Forza electronic substitution board. £500 to you, sir. Amazon.
Amazon.
£530. 2 ratings, 4.5 stars.
It's your Christmas present sorted, Andy.
That's a big budget for my Christmas present, mate. I'll take that.
Oh, you're worth it.
Oh God, it's got a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in, out.
Is that like a genuine one? Like, does it look like the kind of one they use? £500. Who's buying that off Amazon? Surely like a ref. Is a ref just going on there? Oh, yeah, my mate's lost his board. We need another one. Is that
the make is Forza, Forza, electronic substitution board.
Forza. I'm guessing that they live at each stadium rather than travel with the refs, because otherwise the ref that night had left it behind.
What are you using this for, sort of day to day? By the way, once you've got it, like, and the novelty value's worn off, are you integrating this into sort of daily tasks once you've got your hands on it? No. Okay.
I'm definitely not buying it.
It's a bad idea.
I might steal it. No, I won't steal it. I'll borrow it.
If you see one, have a little go on it. That'll
God, it does look nice. It looks like a child's toy at Christmas.
It's properly like, it's got proper hand grooves on it from memory. It's not just like a straight board. It's like properly like ergonomic. It's got the hand grooves. It's built for performance.
I'm going to get this back on track, gentlemen. How Exeter style of play, David? We haven't seen them for a little while. You mentioned about some of the time wasting tactics. We see a lot of teams try and sort of park the bus against Ipswich, but it sounds like Exeter try and play, and they're attack minded team. Is that fair?
I think so. Almost to the point where I'm like, okay, if I went in as manager, I'd go, hey, come on, boys, you're playing nice tippy tappy football. Let's get nasty. Naughty but nice. That would be my. So they'd like to play it on the ground, but sometimes I just feel like they want to stick your foot in a bit more.
Is that the same under Gary Caldwell? Is he kind of going on continuing with that?
Do you know, he's only, I think, how long is it? It's like 3 or 4 games. I missed the derby. I missed the Port Vale. It was away. So we got Peterborough this Saturday. I think this is I saw him at Plymouth, but this is the first time at home I'm going to witness Gary Caldwell managing Exeter. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how, because I felt like the week before they revealed we had Gary Caldwell as new manager, it felt like we were quite quiet on the pitch. I thought, oh, maybe managers make quite a big difference. Because it did feel like it was a sort of lack of leadership. So it'll be really interesting to watch them on Saturday against Peterborough, who look like they could be really strong. I don't know if you've played them yet.
Not this season. But Ipswich and Peterborough have been are well aware of each other over the years. They've been a bit of a thorn for Ipswich. They've got some really good players. A striker, Clark Harris, is a really good player.
Tats.
Yeah, right up on his neck.
I'm all over that. All over that.
Are Ipswich very tattooed? I can't think. There's not tattoos going on in the Ipswich.
There'll be the odd one. Don't worry about that.
There's a few sleeves going on.
Yeah, that Clark Harris looks like. Yeah, he looks like a piece of work. Wouldn't mind getting him on the pod.
I'm sure he'd be up for it. What can the Ipswich fans expect down your way when they get down to the game? What's the ground like these days? I think one of the last times we were down, there was a bit of work going on to do the away end up.
Okay, yeah. There's now. I mean, I don't know what it was like before, but there's now a roof for you, so you won't get wet. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's the sort of thing that makes a din if you hit it when you score. So I don't know if you take sort of dustbin lids or something, or I don't really pay attention to you lot.
Where is your attention?
We got a new stand. I think it's relatively new, and I'm right on the halfway line. And well, are you quite noisy, the Ipswich away supporters?
The away supports are really, really good. Yeah, they sell out everywhere they go. They're loud.
I'm going to go out on a limb looking at the teams that you've had down there this season. I think this is the most impressed you'll be with an away support in terms of size and noise.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Bristol were loud.
I guess you've got this kind of the regional, sort of a smaller rivalry. I know it's not Plymouth, so I guess that probably added to it. But
I think it'd be noisy.
Yeah, because things are going quite well at the moment, and I think they've taken over 1,000 to every away game, and Ipswich is quite geographically challenged out here in the east, so everywhere's a long journey, but they travel in their numbers, Ipswich fans.
Do you go to many away games?
We do them all, yeah. Home and
everything,
away.
Even in the Papa John's.
Contractually obliged.
So what time will you leave? Will you go on the Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will this time because it's a lunchtime one. It's 12 o'clock. This game. It's on TV, isn't it? Moved for TV.
Oh, is it next week?
Yeah,
I'm on Soccer AM.
Are you?
On go.
Oh, it's on TV though. You'll be at Sky, who are broadcasting. You could hang around and watch it.
No, but when I saw it was clashing, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, because I really wanted to see Ipswich at home. I'm not going to be there. This whole podcast has been
wasting time.
Shit.
What are you doing on Soccer AM?
I wrote this England World Cup song, and with me and Joe were talking about it, and I wrote it, and we sort of got overexcited, and then we're promoting it, and the more we're promoting, the more we're like, oh, why have we done this? So we're promoting that song next on that.
Have you got a kind of a chart position in mind for the new Three Lions? Is that the vibe?
Well, like I said to Joe, I want to make friends with I basically want to be invited to an England game and have a slap up meal and a little car home. That was the whole reason for the song. It's not going to happen.
Who's presenting Soccer AM these days? That was a staple for me when I was younger.
I've never seen it.
Oh, really?
No, I've seen like a couple of the videos of them doing Beat the Goalie, but I've never seen the show.
Are you going to do that? Have they asked you to do the the penalties and whatnot at the end. Yeah,
that's stressing me out.
Have you
practiced in the garden?
I haven't kicked a ball properly for like 20 years, and I've sort of given it the big one to Joe that I was half decent. I bet I twang a hammy live on. Oh, that'd be horrible if you really do, and you can't sort of smile. You're genuinely in pain live on TV. But yeah, gutted. I was just thinking if I can get back to Exeter for free.
It kicks off at 12. So
yeah, you just said that. Yes.
You'll have to come. You'll have to come to Portman Road then. You have to do an away game. Come to Portman Road for the return.
So you're leaving on the Friday. How long are you expecting that to take you on the Friday to get to Exeter?
4.5, 5? No, going to be on the 5 side of things, isn't it?
When are you going to travel back on the Sunday?
No, Saturday after the game.
Oh,
once we've done snooping around the innards of the ground.
When are you going to get home then? When will you get home?
10? Is that optimistic?
Yeah.
In a Honda Jazz as well. So it's not luxury travel.
That's a long drive. I can't get my head around. I can sort of, I haven't done any away games yet. I can sort of imagine I'd be excited driving to a match, but driving home on my Todd for 4 hours.
Yeah, on your own's not fun.
No.
On your own's not fun. But if you can find a group of companions, I'd recommend away days. There, I know quite a few of your guests have said the same. It's a completely different experience going away.
I felt the difference going to Plymouth. Yeah. So do you drive together, you two?
Yeah, we've got each other and a photographer in the car. They're all miserable though. All photographers are just whingy.
Are they?
Yeah. Ours are. And they know it as well.
Photos of
all the haircuts, tattoos, legs, all the things that you've previously mentioned, and maybe some goals as well.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gutted on missing that. Really annoying.
I'm just looking it up now. April, the second last game of the season at Exeter at Portman Road. You have to.
I mean, I genuinely, how am I ever going to watch that at Ipswich? There's zero chance I'm driving it.
Team bus?
Never. I said I went up to watch Crawley against Man United, and I took a coach. I got overexcited then. I took a coach with the fans. I fucking hated it. Just that drive home, getting home at 2 a.m. Just tired and grumpy, and the bus driver, the coach driver, had this. He was like 24 stone. He had this massive pack of peanuts. He was just eating for 5 hours. I was so.
Well, that's an insight into our lives, and then quite often we walk in the door at 2 a.m. and turn our laptops on again and start writing about the game.
Have you got really? Is that what you do?
Yeah,
it's good, isn't it? Glamour.
Why have you got to do it on the Saturday? Can't you do it on the Sunday? Has it got to be in by a certain time?
It's quite like having Sundays off with our families, if possible. That's the only sort of time. Obviously, we're away on Saturdays, so and with the internet and stuff, it's kind of we need it on the website sort of for the very first thing Sunday morning.
Wow.
But yeah, the travel is probably the hardest part of overall a pretty good job, but the travel can be a bit of a ball ache, can't it?
That was the same with stand-up comedy. It was like the travel is just unbearable. It's like the actual, even the performing was hard work, just stressful, but it's just 20 minutes on stage, so that's fine. But it was just the 4 hours to get there, 4 hours to get back. And
so when people in football terms talk about a cold Tuesday night in Stoke being the sort of the ultimate test in football, what's the comedy equivalent?
Well, for me personally, because of my act, it would be like a Saturday night in Leicester Square. It would be something like that.
Okay.
It would be in a room with 300 people that don't want to see you, and you don't want to see them.
So why are you all there?
Well, they're there to see comedy, but not what I do, and I'm there to try and earn 200 quid. But they're not my audience, and this is not my club. And so everyone hates one another. And then you go home. Yeah.
That's how Lionel Messi would feel if he was playing Stoke on a Tuesday night. I'd imagine.
Yeah. Well, no, they want to see him, wouldn't they? At Stoke.
Well, that's true. Although, yeah, they probably would.
I would walk on stage and you'd just hear, "Oh, for fuck's sake, what's this?" Oh, fuck off, mate. No, you fuck off. So that's how the comedy set goes.
I bet you miss those days in some way.
I miss those days. Miss those lovely days. Yeah. And I wasn't earning 200. I would have earned 60 quid. I don't know why I said 200, 60 quid. And 20 of that would go on petrol and then tax. So I'll make 15 quid.
And you'd maybe spend that in a service station on some awful
then
food as well. Yeah.
I'd have 7 quid.
Yeah. Well, that's you've just described our lives, I think, in footballing terms.
Yeah.
I guess you've done, like, now you're into sort of the lower league football and people sort of Exeter trying to climb up the leagues. I guess that's kind of what you did, really, in terms of sort of putting the hard graft and the hard yards in to kind of get to where you are now. I guess, is there a comparison there?
I mean, you never know where you are now. Anyway, you're always thinking, well, what am I doing next week and what? But yeah, me and Joe quite often go, God, how are we getting to do this for a living? And then he kind of reminds me sometimes, we go, well, we did spend sort of 10 years on the circuit of people hating us and just sort of deludedly ploughing on and something sort of, yeah. It's a weird, feel very lucky to be able to do what we do, whatever it is we do. I don't know what we do. Yeah.
This for a lot, I guess a lot of people will be familiar with the work that you do. Some listening to this might not. Where can people find you? Can you maybe tell people about Chatabix, which is an interesting podcast concept? What is Chatabix?
It's not for everyone. I'll say that immediately. I said to Joe that I wanted to do, like, I used to be I sort of kind of am. I really enjoy watching daily vloggers on YouTube. So I said, I really want to do like a podcast version of that, where it's not really about the content, but it's just someone that you can go to and listen to every day. So it becomes this little soap opera that you just like, well, what did they do today? So I wanted to create one of those, and Joe would be like, "Oh, but it's got to be funny, isn't it? We've got to be entertaining." I was like, "No, it hasn't got to be. No, I don't want any of that. Just if we're feeling like shit, we say we're feeling like shit. If we're feeling happy, and so that's what Chatabix is, like a breakfast show that by two sort of depressed middle-aged men. If that's your thing. I sold it.
Yeah, you sold it. I'm a Chatabix fan.
Oh, great.
Yeah, definitely. And that's where you get your Deal or No Deal fix. If you want 5 parts of a man telling you about being a contestant on Deal or No Deal, that's where you'll find that.
Yeah, plenty of that. Yeah. We have guests on. It's Steve Davis, Goldie.
That's eclectic.
Yeah. We've got a Red Arrow pilot on next week. Who's in the Red Arrows? We're trying to get hold of a guy who's on the Krypton Factor. He came third in the 1992 final.
Tough negotiations.
I don't think he wants to do it. We're trying to get hold of Wolf from Gladiators. He's not returning our emails.
He's in. His brother does what we do. His brother is a sports journalist. Wolf's brother.
Oh, right.
I think he still is. Is he still doing it, Stu?
I don't know if he still is now, but yeah, he has.
Oh, right. My mate won the Gladiators, the final Gladiator final. the final gladiators. He got the fastest ever eliminator.
Wow.
How's that? Like interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to. I'd be terrible. I'd love to have a go at the eliminator. I'm too short for it, though. I don't think I could do it. I'd get stuck on the rings. If they ever did I'd just get stuck.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't move.
His was so fast, they offered to take him out to South Africa to compete against the South Africans.
Is that a known thing? The South African version is like the elite version of Gladiators. Is that like the Champions League? I wasn't aware of that.
I think so. He definitely got invited out there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Is it? Before we wrap things up, is there anything else Ipswich fans coming to Exeter need to be aware of ahead of the game at the weekend?
Well, I keep being told, because I don't know what other grounds are like, that our big bank, the end of the ground where they're all standing, we make a lot of noise and it's louder than a lot of teams. And so I think that's a little thing. And do you know what? When we played Plymouth, they were quiet. I think there's like 16,000 capacity. Until they went 4-2 up, then they made a noise. They were quiet, and I felt like we were really noisy. Well, I wasn't, but yeah, I think our big bank at the end is quite a noisy, fun part of the ground. Yeah.
And that's all standing, isn't it? That's still all terrace. That's great.
Yeah,
There's not enough of that still around.
Yeah, it's all standing. Yeah.
What's the food like? What are you getting in the ground?
I get a bottle of Ribena, and it's like pasties. That could be. Oh no, there isn't. I think you can get burgers and around the other side, and it's fine.
Before we finish up, can I just ask you, because I'm one of these dreadful people that end up just chucking Ricky Gervais quotes out in daily life speech. Terrible people, shouldn't be doing it. But how on earth do you act opposite him and get anything done? Because the kind of things that you have to come out with, and both of you, how do you actually get to a point where you actually film something without just breaking down laughing at each other?
Well, the truth is, there's a lot of stress on film sets, for me anyway, because you've got a crew of 35 all pointing their machinery at you, and you've got to be funny, or at least, try and do something relatively entertaining. So you've got to somehow go, well, I've got to be professional here and do the job. So there's that. But he also creates like an environment where you can, especially for me, he really allows me to play and go off script. And there are times when I just sense that, oh, he's up for just playing now with this scene. There are times when he goes, no, I need it done because we're running out of time. But there are other scenes where it's like, oh, it feels like playtime now. It feels like we could do this scene for an hour. And there was one scene in Derek that I think it took like an hour and a half, 2 hours, like a 3-minute scene. And it took fucking ages. And I can't imagine that happening on I haven't done much acting, but all the other sets I've been on, it just doesn't happen like that. It just, on Ricky's sets, there's definitely moments where you guys, right now, you can just play. Yeah. Just to keep you want to have fun. You want to, it's a job but you want to enjoy your job and just keep the fun. So, yeah.
Good times. It's definitely produced some gold over the years. I think that's probably a decent place to leave it. David, thank you so much for joining us. It's a shame you're not going to be at the game.
I know, really annoying. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. And people can tune in and watch you on Soccer AM on there before they put Sky Sports on to watch the game. So it should be a good morning all round.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, and I hope we batter you in the nicest possible.
We'll see about that. Thanks, David, and good luck, and we'll maybe speak again down the road.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
See you later. Cheers.